The Opportunity Challenge is a joint grant-making initiative between the West Mariam Assefa Fund and the Tarsadia Foundation with the goal of empowering immigrant and refugee communities to thrive. Over 400 organizations applied to the Opportunity Challenge. We selected 12 incredible organizations to be grantee partners. 3 of those organizations were convened to discuss their work in the area of worker cooperatives, which is essential to enabling immigrants and refugees to invest in their own careers and build wealth for themselves and their communities. Featuring Center for Family Life, Oakland Bloom, and Pioneer Valley Worker Center. We spoke to leaders from these organizations and asked them about their efforts to create and expand worker-driven solutions. Why is the work you're doing so important?
The work that we're doing in Center for Family Life, we are located in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, which is predominantly an immigrant community and historically has been so. We provide services through our holistic approach as a social service organization. And for the last 14 years, we've been developing worker cooperatives in partnership with our community. The work is so important because our community faces tremendous exploitation. So it is essential that through worker ownership, where the decisions are made democratically, where workers have a voice, that people can have a pathway that they build towards a future that they own.
I'm from Oakland Bloom, and Oakland Bloom is an immigrant and diaspora-led organization that really advances economic justice, food justice, and immigrant justice. With this grant specifically, we're looking at launching a space in downtown Oakland to create a cooperatively run commissary kitchen and marketplace and restaurant. And then alongside of that, we're creating a cooperative restaurant group that really creates a financing structure that centers the equity and ownership of chef aspiring entrepreneurs who are POC, immigrant, and refugee.
Our mission at the Pioneer Valley Worker Center is to build power with low-wage workers across the Pioneer Valley. We're a membership-based organization. The majority of our members are farm workers, restaurant workers, construction workers, and in the beginning, we were mostly focusing on wage theft ordinances, but as our work has grown and deepened, we have expanded our work into fighting for driver's licenses for all undocumented immigrants in Massachusetts and organizing to win better working conditions for farm workers across the Pioneer Valley.
What has been an unexpected learning from 2020?
Government solutions tend to exclude our immigrant communities. And so when the government doesn't think about solutions that are equitable, communities need to have access and create their own solutions. After being on pause for 3 months, the worker cooperatives that we support have been able to go back to 60% of their job volume of pre-pandemic activity because they've been able to invest in the asset that they own. The worker cooperative model is more resilient to crisis because workers are making decisions about the business itself that are not driven by profit making.
In Oakland, we've seen how the food industry has been really upturned through COVID-19. And that really is a change that's been a long time coming. The food industry in the Bay Area is notoriously exclusive and exploitative in its labor practices. And so one thing that really came as an opportunity through all of that is that over this summer, Oakland Bloom was offered an opportunity to take over a bar and restaurant space in downtown Oakland on donation that really set off a lot of the work that's been happening in creating a worker-owned cooperative.
Why is advancing a solidarity economy so important in the agriculture and food sectors?
The reason that we feel like building a solidarity economy in the food system is so important is because it's built off of a system of exploitation. These systems are not working for anyone. And again, we're seeing that up close and personal in this pandemic. And so in building a solidarity economy, we're building something bigger than just incubating co-ops. We're really wanting to build economic and political and movement power. And it needs to be connected to movement organizing because it's not just going to be the creation of co-ops that will save us from this. It's also building transformative power that can build a new system.
How is the Brightly franchise model unique when it comes to scale and sustainability?
With the Brightly cooperative franchise model, we are now ready to scale worker ownership across the different cities in the United States. we are embedding a network effect into the worker cooperatives. We're building economies of scale so that small businesses and small business entrepreneurs can start their businesses without having to have access to a lot of capital. And we're building it in a way that big businesses do business, which is to leverage all of the expertise and the know-how that they have and their resources and be able to share that across the Brightly cooperatives.
How is Oakland Bloom empowering immigrant and refugee chefs to build their own careers?
The approach of Oakland Bloom really centers the agency and self-determination of the immigrant and refugee chefs that we work with. Chefs that we work with already have an immense amount of talent and experience cooking. And so our program is really tailored around thinking about costing models or getting a food handler's license, and just really setting people up to be able to launch their own food businesses.
How do you see the Opportunity Challenge grant helping you drive more impact in your community?
With this seed grant and the opportunity that you have all provided us, we're hoping to be in Philadelphia in 1 year and hopefully replicated in another city by the following year. We hope that the cleaning industry can be transformed through the Brightly Cooperative model. We want to see workers making decisions and more opportunities for workers to build assets and capacity amongst themselves and to bring that back to their own communities.
We're really excited to have been awarded the Opportunity Challenge grant. And what we plan to do with this grant over the next few years is develop our co-op incubation program, Vida Cooperativa. We envision having a series of worker-led co-ops that are going to allow us to really build a solidarity economy where workers will be able to own the wealth that they produce and be at the core of how decisions are made in their own businesses.
Our vision for the next 2 years is really to establish this vibrant community that is connected with each other, supporting one another, connected to local POC farmers and food systems, and really thriving. And so through that model, we're also imagining pathways to ownership, opportunities for immigrant and refugee chefs to develop their businesses and also sell their items. I think this is a really key opportunity to really re-envision what food businesses can and should look like.